everybody. How you guys doing this evening? Hope you had a good week. Ignore that trash in the background. My little 3-year-old was in here playing earlier, making a mess. My voice is a little bit hoarse tonight, but we have a great interview tonight, so let's get excited for it. We have Mr. Teddy Mosley coming on to speak about his career in coaching and playing and what's going on in the explosion of female basketball. You know what I mean? So it's been a good week. I know you guys been debating about J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and all that and everything. Congrats to Don Staley and the Gamecocks. Great game today. I actually watched it, so proud of those guys. It's been a good week of just living. You know, it's good to be alive, man. It's a blessing to be alive. Blessing to be here. Speaking with you guys. All right. So today is just me. Kevin is a little busy today, so it's just me on the podcast. So it'll be me and Teddy discussing some great things about Raider basketball and the future of Raider basketball and the past. So you guys get in here, tune in, check us out. You know how we do. Like to have fun, be informative. We're gonna learn about some names that we never heard before and some we heard before. All right, we're gonna give out flowers and information. All right, be some claps in here. All right, great. So without further ado, I want to bring in the current, I think it's Southeastern Atlantic, I don't know, SAC Women's Coach of the Year. All right, 23-24. All right, current Coach of the Year, not old or past, but right now as we speak, Mr. Teddy Mosley. All right.
Appreciate you having me on, man.
Yeah, man, I've been wanting to have you on for a while, but timing is everything. So I think today is a perfect day to have you on with the female basketball championship being today, man.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, women's basketball is grown tremendously. And first of all, I just want to give you props on the name of your podcast, Ball Guys Know It All. You know, we do. I appreciate that. Giving a shout out to the ball dudes. I appreciate that. You know,
for sure. Yeah, it's a lot of wisdom in that ball, man.
That's right.
A lot of wisdom in there.
It is
going through stuff, being stressed, and learning from mistakes.
That's it. You're right about that. You're right about that.
For sure. But if the folks don't know who you are and they're being under a rock the past few years, tell them who you are, man.
Teddy Mosley, women's basketball coach at Richmond Senior High School. I enjoy what I do. I'm a teacher, I'm a dad, I'm a father, which is most important. Two excellent sons, Dexter and Landry. That's my most important legacy right there, is being a great dad. Or at least the best I can be. I'm human, so we do make mistakes and everything, but my most important legacy is being a great dad. I love basketball. We spoke earlier. If you told me 10 years ago that you'd be a women's basketball coach and you'd love women's basketball, I would have told you, man, you're crazy. Because I kind of really thought the women's game was a little slow and kind of boring, but I mean, it's evolved tremendously. It has. Like you said, with the championship game today, I guarantee the ratings will be higher in the men's game.
Yeah, through the roof.
So yeah,
I don't even know when the men play. I ain't
exactly. Yeah,
I don't even know when the men play, and who even is in the final. I know
UConn and I think UConn and Purdue, maybe.
Purdue is good. I had no idea.
Yeah, so that's the thing about it. I mean, the women's game is blown up, man. So but sure. I appreciate you having me on, man, for sure.
Yeah, okay, great. I get confused. Is it girls? Is it ladies? Is it women's basketball? Or all three works?
Man, it's women's basketball.
Women's basketball. Gotcha.
Women's basketball. Ladies.
Every time I do it tight, do I say girls basketball or ladies or women?
Lady Raiders. Hey, we're known as the Lady Raiders, but it's women's basketball. I mean, you call it what you want. It's good basketball. So
good.
It's good basketball.
All right, brother. So let's dive into to you as a person and your upbringing, man. Where you originally from?
My family's originally from Baltimore, Maryland, but been here. I'm from here. My mom still lives in the same house that we've been living there for well over 40 years. Um, you know, two brothers, I'm sorry, one sister. Did have a brother that passed away and from cancer back in 06. My brother Denard, who's one of my greatest inspirations, Um, my dad passed away back in 2018 from Alzheimer's. My parents were married 58 years when my dad passed away. So that's a lot of love, man.
A lot of loving.
A lot of love.
I love it. And a blessing.
Yeah.
Blessings,
huge blessing, man. I mean, it's a huge blessing. And my parents were married 58 years, But my mom, she's still strong, man. She's still lives, like I said, still lives in the same house, and she still gets around, does well. I'm a teacher, at Richmond Senior High School. I teach civics literacy. So it was civics and economics, but they took the economics part away, yada yada. But you ain't hear about all that bullshit like that. So we had to talk basketball. So
we talk everything Teddy Mosley tonight.
Yeah. Well, it ain't a lot to it, man. But we're here to talk basketball, Lady Raiders basketball program, and like I said, it's an honor to be on, man. I appreciate you having me.
So you said your parents were together for 50 so years until the two dad passed away. What kind of parents were they? Were they strict parents?
Man, the thing about it is my brothers used to tell me all the time because I had, my sister was the oldest. She's the oldest, and I had two older brothers. There's 11 years between me and my next brother.
Oh,
so I was the youngest.
You had it easy.
So so
it was so when they came around.
I wouldn't say I had it easy. Everybody in Richmond County know Al Mosley. So, ain't no ace. So anytime I did something growing up, it's like, hey, boy, I'm going to tell your daddy, and, my dad worked for the city and he was constantly out all the time.
Everybody knew him, correct?
Yeah. So he was constantly out all the time. And, there wasn't many places I could go, whether they be black, white, it didn't matter. You Al Mosley, I still get it to this very day. You Al Mosley, son. So, yeah. So sometimes I get kind of nervous because I think, hey, man, I know what's going to happen. I know that belt coming. You know what I'm saying? Going up. So, yeah, man. So I had a great upbringing, man. I did, Like
how about your community surrounding your neighbors?
Community, man. Great. It was a true village. It definitely was a true village. I live right beside, like I said, another Mr. Mac Baldwin. Stephanie and Tiffany and Mel, Nikki. We were a community, Kevin Bowe, my cousin, we were community out there and it was free reign on if you did anything. And, Antoine Dumas, Aaron Dumas, Adrian Dumas, we all grew up together. And if you did anything, it wasn't, I'm going to call your mom and tell you. It's like, I'm going to handle it right here. You're going to get busted up right here. And then when you get home, you're going to get busted up again. So it was a village, man, and I wouldn't change my upbringing for nothing in the world, man.
I definitely asked that question because today I think that's definitely what's missing in our communities.
It is.
We don't allow our neighbors to talk to our kids or to help raise our kids.
Yes.
Everyone's not a great raiser, but you gotta allow people to also help you raise your kids.
Oh yeah, of course.
Man. You can't get mad at somebody chastising your child for doing wrong. You know what I mean? And
of course. And the thing about the crazy part about it is, John, me and Antoine were talking the other day, man. He stopped by the house the other day, and we were talking about how everything that we try to provide our kids. Don't get me wrong, we weren't the richest kids, but we had what we needed. But we also were able to get the things that we wanted as well. Correct. But it came with a price. You know what I'm saying? So now kids, man, they don't understand. Me and Antoine were talking about the other day. We used to ride around to get glass bottles. For like 10 cents, take them to the store, cash them in, and go to the Browder Park and go swimming. You know what I'm saying? Just to get 75 cents to get into the pool, and then just to, get you something to drink or walk across the street to Hardee's, get you a burger or something like that, stuff like that.
I remember growing up, and I'm from Rockingham, around the Pepsi plant area. I'm raised at. I forgot they on the road but that's where I'm raised at. And I remember, in the fall time when all the leaves on the ground, we get a rake And we walk to the section, they got a little more money than us, knocking them doors like, hey,
exactly. Raking,
rake them yards and get
rake
$5,
yards,
$10. Yeah.
rake
Cut
yards, mow grass.
Yeah.
We used to stack wood. You know what I'm saying? We used to stack and do all that stuff, man.
For sure.
I remember plenty of days. You know, I remember plenty of days coming home, and my dad used to buy wood from this guy from Ellaby, Mr. Brown, buy truckloads of wood. And I know anytime when I came home, I knew anytime I would look in that backyard and I saw that wood, that pile of wood back there, I knew my ass better have that pile of wood stacked up before my dad got home. I knew it. That pile of wood better be stacked, and the wood box better be ready to be burned for that night. So yeah, I mean, all those things. But like I said, I wouldn't change my upbringing for nothing in the world.
It definitely shows in, you know, who you are and who we are as people, being raised like that. You know, the morals, the hard work, the character. You know, some folks didn't have that, and it shows. And ones that have it, it definitely shows in their position that they are in life, man. But school wise, man, talk to me. What you was at? LJ Bell,
LJ Bell, kindergarten. Left LJ Bell, went to Leek Street. Actually, I remember coming back from Leek Street from Christmas break and getting on the bus. The very first day we had an assembly in the gym at Leek Street, we got on the bus, drove to Washington Street, and we were the first class to ever be at Washington Street.
Washington Street, wow.
Yeah. So we were the first. We were the first class to close Leek Street down, or the last class to close Leek Street down, and the first class to open up Washington Street in the same year.
Okay, so
that dates me, right? That tells you my age right there. So
let me say, so y'all went to Leek Street as
sixth graders up until Christmas break.
I got you. As sixth grade, you wouldn't do.
And when we came back,
did everyone go to Leek Street or just certain people?
No. 4th through 6th grade. And then when we came back, the students that were there that current year, when we came back from Christmas break, everyone that was there that year we all got on the bus and we went to Washington Street.
Okay, so LJ Bell was kindergarten through 3rd.
Yep, and Leek Street was 4th through 6th.
Was that for everybody, 4 through 6?
Yeah, but you also had West Rockingham, you had Ellaby and other schools like that. So
I'm asking, was it integrated? It was kind of crazy, but
yeah, man, it was it was integrated.
I didn't know that.
It was integrated.
We went on Leek Street, 4 through 6. I don't know how.
The thing about it is when like growing up as we got older, when you told kids you went to Leek Street, they was like, "Oh, you was a bad kid. You was in an alternative school." I was like, "No, it was."
I was there for that part.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that at all, man.
That's why I asked, because
it was regular school for us. Yeah, it was regular 4 through 6. So yeah. And then we went to Washington Street after that. So
Washington. So, yeah. Gotcha. Great. So was there any teachers at LJ Bell and Leek Street that you could that was great teachers back then?
Man, LJ Bell, my favorite teacher, man. And I was just one of my favorite teachers, man, was Miss Smith, Miss K. Smith, and Miss Vet Potts, and Miss Barbaroos. She was Miss Barbaroos now, but Miss Ken. I was just, me and her son Ben, Miss Smith, my buddy Ben Smith. We were just together earlier today.
I know Ben.
And, Ben, yeah. So Ben's mom was my second grade teacher.
Okay.
And back then, we were out in the trailer back then. And when you got in trouble back then, and man, I was notorious for getting in trouble, man. And she would always take you by your hand and open your hand up, and she had a ruler with some tape on it. She would spank you in the middle of your hand with that ruler. And every time she did that, man, Miss Yvette Potts was her assistant. I don't know if you know Miss Yvette Potts. She works at the courthouse right now. Miss Potts was her dad was one of the deputies here, Mr. Heath Potts. They live right there on Leek Street, the 2-story house right there on Leek Street. Right at the top of the hill right there. So Miss Potts was my second grade assistant. And like I said, man, anytime I would get in trouble, man, she would always come and let me sit on her lap, and she'd baby me and stuff like that, man. And I miss Miss Potts. I saw her in the courthouse one day. Unfortunately, I had to go and pay off a speeding ticket, and she still looks the same. She's still gorgeous, man, but she was that was actually my first crush, man, right there, Miss Potts.
Ha ha! Let the world know.
Yeah, man. That was my first crush right there. And Miss Potts, if you're listening, I still am in love with you. You're still my first crush.
Yeah, that's great. You never know who's watching, trust me.
Exactly.
The last show, my partner said the same thing, and lady was watching and commented. Said, wow. You said the same thing.
Yeah, man. Miss Potts, man.
For sure. All right. So sports wise, man, coming up, was it always basketball or was it football, baseball, soccer?
Man, I try my luck at a lot of things, man. Basketball, football, baseball. And the crazy part about it is, man, baseball, Bootsy and I played on the same baseball team. And we played rec baseball together. And I was okay. But I think, for one thing, it was hot out there. I ain't really kind of like baseball too much. It got kind of hot. And then I guess what kind of, ended my baseball career, it didn't end it, but, we were playing a game out at Bonham one day, and we were up in the bottom of the seventh inning. You play 7 innings back then as little ones. And we were up by 1 run, and they had a runner on second and third, and a little dribbler came down to me at third base, and I Bill Bucknered it. If you don't know who Bill Buckner is, from the New York Mets, where the ball goes through his legs on a little routine, ground ball, and they score and win the game. But this was for the World Series, but it wasn't for the World Series for us. So yeah, I Bill Bucknered the ball. They had 2 runs come in. Nobody wouldn't talk to me. Bootsy was mad at me. Bootsy and I ended up getting into a fight in the dugout, Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, he and I ended up getting into a fight in the dugout. We still laugh about it to this day, man. So football, thing about it is play football, and I'm gonna tell you what ended my football career, before it really got started. It was okay, I ran a touchdown, and I tackled in the end zone, and when I got tackled in the end zone, I landed on the ball.
Oh, that breath gone.
Breath gone. Exactly. That's how I got up. And I'm looking around. I got a helmet on. I'm like, I can't. That's the first time I ever had the wind knocked out of me. You know what I'm saying? Never had the wind knocked out of me. So I had the wind knocked out of me. I was like, man, you know what?
I'm good on that.
I don't want to experience that no more. So I'm gonna stay in the gym and play ball. So yeah.
So you mentioned rec. Tell us about Parks and Rec back then, man. Was it competitive for everybody?
Man, let me tell you something, man.
Everybody was playing back then, correct?
Let me tell you something. If you played in it growing up as well, on Saturday mornings, parents would drop their kids off at 8:30. The first games would start at 9:00. Browder Park would be jumping from 9:00 till the evening. And it was just basketball games, and it was competitive, man. I mean, it was very competitive. The younger kids would play early. It wasn't none of these during the week games. Everybody played on Saturday. Everybody played on Saturday. I see my cousin just put RFS and Nail in there in the comments from industrial sheet metal, man. But we parents would drop their kids off in the morning, and like I said, the younger kids would play early in the morning, but we would stay, man, to watch the older kids like the Theodis Roach, Danny Lampleys, Mike Way, Brandon Player, all those guys, man. We would stay to watch them play, rec basketball, so and that's what we did, That's exactly what we would do, And Browder Park rec basketball was travel basketball today.
Yeah.
The travel basketball from
correct. The competition and the excitement of the games had that same feel that travel ball has. Correct?
Oh yes, Browder Park was where it was, man. So yeah,
correct. Actually, on my side, I played football and basketball, but I do remember Browder Park basketball being crazy.
Oh man,
football being the same level.
Yes.
Every Saturday, we drop off your game. You stay for all the games.
Everybody's game.
It's done.
That's it.
Just having a good time, man. Socializing, eating and watching and just being part of, the community.
That's it. We would leave Browder Park, like, with DeMarlin and Demery Jackson. We'd always pile up in their conversion van. Dario would drive us around, and we go play basketball for a little bit. Come back, watch more basketball. leave and go play basketball some more, you know, and then, you know, Henry Fry and Daryl Skinner, those boys lived across the street over there. So that's all we did as kids growing up, man. We were playing sports
all the
somewhere
time,
all the time, man.
every day.
Every day. I mean, I've seen times where we would pile up and we would drive to Little Philly and play them in football, or we would drive to Ellerby and play them in football, drive to Hamlet or play them in basketball. It wasn't none of this. Oh, we're gonna come over there now. It's like, okay, your hood against my hood. We're gonna shoot you up and shit like that. We were coming to play sports, you know.
It's crazy how, like you just said, we as kids used to organize neighborhood games. Like,
exactly.
I remember going to different neighborhoods playing football and basketball, representing my neighborhood.
Yep.
And it's like we organized our own little leagues.
That's it.
Outside of Parks and Rec.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, I'll never forget, man. John, listen, man. We went to Ellerby one time, and they had a field. The apartments up there in Ellerby, they had like a little field back there, and we drove up there to play the guys up from Ellerby. And I don't know if you know Duck.
But
Tall Duck.
Yeah, no Duck. Yeah.
Man, listen, I tried to tackle Duck. We was probably maybe in 9th or 10th grade, man. It was me, Daryl Skinner, Brian Roach, Henry Fry, his brother Willis, Bootsy, Montez Patterson, Tim Harris, all of us.
Y'all loaded.
And so I called myself trying to tackle Duck, man. And, you know, Duck was big, man. Duck was a grown man. And he come down there high stepping, man, with them knees, man. And that dude hit me in my chin, man. Man, look. Let me tell you something, man. I had to go sit in the van for a little bit. I had to go sit in the van. I'm telling you, man.
Football creates basketball players.
Yeah, man. It does. You're right. It created for me getting the wind knocked out of me and Duck hitting me, man, trying to tackle him, and I caught one of them knees. Yeah, that created. I said, man, y'all can have this football stuff, man. I don't want no parts of it. So
cool.
Like I said, man, I wouldn't trade my childhood in for nothing in the world, man. It was great,
man. So playing Parks and Rec, basketball, what position? I
always played the guard, man. You know, I always played the guard. You know, went from there to Rockingham Junior High, where Jim Butler was our coach. You know, Butler was our coach.
Butler was at Rockingham.
Yeah, he was my 7th grade teacher. He was my coach. Well, he cut me in the 7th grade.
You
know, cut me in the 7th grade. If you listen to Butler, I will talk about this in the morning, but we always talk about this. But he cut me in the 7th grade, came back the next year, 8th grade. Daryl Skinner and I got co-MVP. And that's the thing, and that's the thing I try to tell kids all the time, man. You can't be afraid to fail, you know. You can't be afraid to fail at anything. And I think right now a lot of kids are afraid to fail in society, man. The way that, you know, you always look on social media and it's always, you know, celebration this, but no one ever puts their failures out there.
Never.
And people fail every day. You know, we fail every day. You know, if you get cut, like, I mean, trust me, I'm not comparing myself to Michael Jordan by no means, but I mean, Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. Now, just imagine if Michael Jordan didn't come back after he got cut. So just imagine what the world would be like without Michael Jordan. So what the game of basketball would be like without Michael Jordan. So, I mean, you can't be afraid to fail in life, man. You know, so that's one thing you can't do. No. You can't be afraid to fail.
Failing creates, you know, lessons and also adversity. You know, a lot of kids don't know what adversity means. And when they see it, they just break down or they fall apart. But adversity makes you stronger, man.
It does.
And also, we as parents gotta allow our kids to go through some adversity.
Yeah, you gotta
them all the time.
And that's a big thing, and you hit it on the head right there. A lot of parents don't want their kids to fail. I mean, no one wants their kids to fail by no means. I guess I kind of no one wants their kid to fail, but you gotta allow your kids to fail at something because that creates character right there. It does. It creates character. And not to say don't be there for them. You got to kind of guide them through that failure. You know what I'm saying? If they fail, okay, what did you do wrong? So now what can we do right the next time to prevent you from failing again? Right. You know, and you may fail again, and it's going to happen. You're going to fail, but you have to be able to learn from that failure. You got to, because everything, you know, like I tell them all the time, I tell my players all the time, everything's good when everything's going well, but failure and losing shows true character. It does. And sometimes that character can get tested. It can get tested because I'm going to tell you right now, it damn sure got tested with me last year. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. And I learned from that. So
tell me about your coaches growing up. Do they influence your style of coaching or
man, let me tell you something, man. I tell people, a lot of people look at like one of the first like actual like coach that I had that, you have rec coaches, not to discredit rec coaches, but I mean, you only spend, you play rec ball. You only had a couple of practices.
Hour a week, maybe.
Yeah, an hour once or twice a week. But when you have to spend time with a coach every day for 5 days and coaching and them letting them coaching you and all that stuff like that, man, Jim Butler was rough, man. He was. Jim Butler was rough on us, man. He really was. I mean, he was tough on us. Every day before practice, man, we had to run. I mean, I'm talking about like run. He put 10 minutes on the clock, boom, run. We had to jump on the wall. I'm talking about jump high as you can, touch a spot on the wall. So he was hard on us, And when we made him, man, let me tell you something. We were rough. We probably put a lot of gray hairs on that dude's head, man. Because we had some characters on that team, and we did a lot of stuff that year that that kind of brought. But he was always tough on us, and he was competitive. He hated losing. He was really competitive, and he hated losing. But the thing about it is, man, he cared about us as players. He did. He cared about us as his player. And I'll tell you a story about when I remember being in the 8th grade, and I don't know if y'all remember Sports World. If you remember Sports World.
Yeah, Duff and
Duff and Dave. Yeah. And so that's where it wasn't ordering shoes from Nike. We got our shoes from Sports World back then.
Yeah.
And I remember one year when playing in 8th grade one year, and my parents gave me money to go get my basketball shoes. And instead of getting my basketball shoes, I went and bought a Nintendo game. Yeah, I bought a Nintendo game. I can't remember what game it was, but I bought a Nintendo game. And I was like, how am I gonna get my doggone my shoes, my money? I mean, my money. How am I gonna get my shoes or whatever? So I remember, damn man, I got to get these basketball shoes. My parents gonna be at the game. They're gonna be like, all right, everybody got their shoes.
Where your shoes?
You ain't got shoes. We gave you money for your shoes. So where your shoes at? So I remember going to Butler, and I'm like, man, listen, man, I spent my money for my basketball shoes, and I got to get my shoes. He said, I tell you what, I'm not going to give you that money, but what you can do is you can earn it. And like you said, it was in the fall. And this is when him and Debbie, his wife, lived on Montclair Avenue over there. So I tell you what, my yard needs to be raked. He said, you can come over here before practice and rake my front yard every day until all the leaves are up. And then I'll give you the money for the shoes. And that's how I earn my money for my basketball shoes.
Valuable lesson, he taught you.
Valuable lesson, And when I got over, I was like, oh, man, it can't be that many leaves. Man, I got over there, man. I was like, man, it's like some damn Charlie Brown leaves right here. You know what I'm saying? I thought I was going to see Snoopy coming out, man. Him and Charlie Brown and Woodstock. Man, there was so many leaves in that yard, man. I was like, you set me up. You was probably waiting for somebody to
Yeah.
You got me, but it was a lesson learned. That's what I had to do.
It worked for both of y'all.
Yeah, it did. It worked for both of us. So I had to rake all them damn leaves up, man.
Yeah, I remember at Rockingham, a coach of my past is Coach Mason.
Yeah, and even with Mason, but see, Mason was a football coach. I never played for Mason, but man, let me tell you something. He was always there all the time. I mean, as a valuable I never played for him, but just seeing him, how he always spoke to us as young men, and how he always guided us all the time and giving us excellent,
correct
advice on how to. He taught us now for a lot, and I feel like I was blessed to have my dad in my life my entire life, up until now, till he passed away. But Mason was like a dad for all of us, whether you had a dad or not. He was a father for us, for everybody, for everyone. Him and that deep voice, and he was one of those dudes, man, that he didn't really have to say much. You know what I'm saying? And
he said a lot to me.
But the thing about it is, you knew where he was coming from.
Come on, son.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. But he kept me on the team and what was it, seventh grade, man.
Yeah.
Hurt my feelings so bad, but I deserved it because I was terrible in school. But
yeah,
I learned a valuable lesson there.
Oh yeah, without a doubt, man. And that's the thing about it, man. You don't appreciate those things until you're older. You know what I'm
Correct.
saying?
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't appreciate it when
Yes.
you look at it as people have, especially young. You look at this person, well, man, I don't like such and such because they did this to me. They kicked me off the team, or they were just kind of an ass to me, or whatever. They were mean to me. But then when you get older, you kind of realize, well, man, you know what? They were doing that for me to help me out, and you realize those lessons right there when you get older.
You're accountable for your own actions.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I tell kids all the time. I say either you're going to be an intelligent person and learn from my mistakes, or you're going to be a average person and learn from your own mistakes.
That's it.
Or
that's it.
Either
that's
or.
it. I mean, and there's
either
no
way,
other.
You're gonna learn.
There's no other teacher other than life.
Mm-hmm.
Life is the best teacher ever. So it's the best teacher ever.
So we always go into the rivalry of Rockingham and Hamlet. I'm a Rocket, you a Rocket. So your time at Rockingham playing basketball, how you record against Hamlet?
Let me tell you, we never lost to Hamlet.
Okay, there we go.
Never. And that's the thing about it is because going back, that's kind of where I got when I finished. I was the JV coach at Richmond, and then I went back to Rockingham and coach. Well, I started out but then my guys would go and talk to the boys from Hamlet before the game, and I was like, "What the hell y'all doing? We don't talk to them.
Talk after maybe, but
no, we didn't. We didn't talk to we hated Hamlet. We hated those boys from Hamlet.
Yeah.
We didn't talk to them at all. The only time we really talked to those boys at Hamlet is like if we went to play them in sports or something like that, or we really talked to them when we got to Richmond in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
But it was like, nah, man, we don't deal with Hamlet. We don't like Hamlet.
I can understand.
And the thing, if you had a girlfriend from Hamlet and you want to go see your little girl from Hamlet, you better sneak over there, and you better not let nobody from Hamlet know that you from Rockingham and you in Hamlet, because it ain't going down like
Folks ask me all the time. I say I don't even listen. I've lived in Hamlet recently, probably about 5-6 years. Until I moved to Rockingham recently, but I don't know how to drive around Hamlet because I ain't never really been to Hamlet.
Yeah, I tell people to this day, man,
I ain't going to Hamlet.
I don't even like driving through Hamlet, man, to be honest. No offense, Hamlet people. I'm a Rockingham dude. You know what I'm saying?
Rockingham guy, man.
It's nothing like disrespectful far as, it's just a rivalry. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's nothing like, like egregious or nothing, but it's just that rivalry that we had. Yeah. And I think that's what made us better when we got to Richmond, because it was one of those things that like, okay, you don't like, and I think it worked a lot better for football as well. Because there's a lot of talent that came out of Hamlet. Not to discredit Hamlet, because there's a lot of talent that came out of Hamlet.
Might have the most talent in football.
And there's a lot of talent that came out of Rockingham, but then those guys came together. It was like, look, all right, we were rivals, but that rivalry that they built up helped them to be better teammates and better players and stuff like that. And that's what we got to get back to, man. I mean, you can have that rivalry and stuff, but we got to get back to be able to be rivals on a level to where it's not like I got to bring a gun to try to shoot your ass, or I got to do this or something like that. We got to be able to build that rivalry to where it's for the common good for each other. So,
or we have to be competitive on a higher stupid level, but not on a level that creates violence. Like,
exactly.
That has to be mutual respect between the players. There, I'm going to kill you on this court, but I don't want to fight you in real life.
Exactly. Yeah. After the game, like you said, after the game over, we can be cordial. We can be friends. But once it comes to that Hamlet Rockingham rivalry, man, I'm orange and black all day. I mean, to this day, if somebody said, "Well, man, you got to go teach at Hamlet," I'm like, "Well, man, I'm hanging it up." Yeah, I'm a Rocket to the death, man. So yes, I'm a Rocket. Sure.
All right. So now we coming into to high school, man. Did tell me about
high school,
Richmond for you back in those days.
High school was great, man. Played 10th grade. We JV, then my senior year, we went on to the state championship, man. And the thing about it is, playing alongside Bootsy, at Rockingham Junior High as well. So we have so much history, man. Like even with Bootsy, myself, Mr. Butler, man, we have so much history, man. I'm 46 years old.
Coach both of y'all.
Well, I'm 45. Boosie just turned 46 yesterday. He's older than me. But by the way, happy birthday, big man.
Happy birthday, Boosie.
Love you.
Great party last night.
Yeah, great party last night. Great party, by the way. But like I said, man, we have so much history together. And then, coming our senior year, no one knew who we were. No one. We came in just to want to compete and do what we do. But as the year went on, man, we got better and we got better and we got better. And then it was like, damn, man, we got a chance. And then once we realized, it kind of clicked, like, man, we got a chance to really do something. And that just made us play even harder as a team.
Mm-hmm.
Those are some of the most competitive practices I've, we got Will Tucker in from Pinecrest, and that just brought us to a whole nother level as well, man. And I'm gonna tell you, right, one of the best leaders that I've ever seen and been around is, man, Daryl Skinner's a leader of men. He was our leader. Daryl Skinner was our leader. He was our vocal leader. Not only was our vocal leader, but he led by example, man. He came in and he worked hard every day in practice, every day in every game, every practice, and he brought it. And so that made us that much better. He made us better as basketball players. And then it just kind of fed through the team. It was no, Boosie and I talk about it all the time, man. We were brothers. We were brothers. Till this day, we still brothers. You got, myself that's coaching. You got Chris McDonald that's coaching. You got Boosie that's coaching. And, I'd like to think we're successful this year. We all got coach of the year. We couldn't do it without our coaches or our staffs or our players. But but that was bred into us. That was something that was bred into us at an early age, to compete and to be competitive, man, and to be good teammates and to try to lead by example as best we can. And that's where we go. And next thing you know, we're playing for the state championship in Chapel Hill. And
big show.
Man, that's I had some kids in my class a couple of weeks ago to kind of say, yeah, coach, I saw you on the picture down there. I said, he said, y'all win that game. I was like, nah, man, we didn't win. And he's
but
like,
getting there is amazing task too,
But he started laughing. I was like, hey, man, that still touches the nerve to me to this very day, man. I remember being the first person in the locker room when they gave you a little medal for being runner up. Man, I took my medal and threw it in the corner. I don't even know what that medal is, man. But that's just a competitor that we were. And like you said, just to get there, man, Boosie's been there as a player twice. He's been at that level as a coach twice, man. So that goes to show you what
that's not an easy task. Like,
no, that's tough, man.
They don't happen like that in life.
That's tough, man. It's tough to get there once. Not only, but he's been there twice as a player and a coach, man. So that goes to show you the level of what he's done. And I speak about Coach David May, who was here. He is the one that Boosie and I are off his tree. You know what I'm saying? Coach Balcom was a great coach, but as far as me working and coaching, David May was the one that gave me my shot years and years ago in 2003 as his JV coach. And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention him, because he is a huge inspiration to me. I remember him coaching the girls. My first game as a basketball coach, as the girls coach, we played Pine Forest and they beat the hell out of us. We had Kendall Moore, who she went to state and played. I said, man, we're gonna beat y'all. He said, okay, I got something for you. He said, man, don't ever try to. He said, the student never beat the teacher. And we didn't beat him. They end up beating us pretty bad. So
I want to. So we in high school right now, and I learned earlier during my rec league of playing basketball, you was actually refereeing in high school. And I'm gonna tell you this right now, I couldn't stand Teddy Mosley refereeing at that Parks and Rec.
Hey,
he
man,
always called the fouls on me. I like that.
John, you was kind of physical, man, aggressive.
I was definitely physical.
You was aggressive. You brought that football mentality to the basketball court, man.
I definitely was a football player.
Yeah, you brought that football mentality to the basketball court, man. And I remember you being a little dude running around, man, tackling. I'm like, oh man, you can't I hate that little man. I'm talking about mad. I'm like, man, it's okay, man. You brought that football mentality.
I had a horrible attitude back then too. So,
well,
but life definitely changed me some, man, for sure.
Oh yeah, it does. I mean, as you get older, man, it kind of it changes you. A lot of things change. You got kids, I've got kids, and that definitely changes you.
Definitely changes
a whole lot. So
yeah, decision making and everything.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so we college now. Talk to me.
St. Andrews started out there.
That's Laurinburg, right?
Yeah, right in Laurinburg. Left there, went to Francis Marion, graduated. Lived in Atlanta.
Graduated in what, y'all? Your degree was in
2000. I graduated in 2001, man. Double majored in history and political science. And it's crazy how I got into teaching. I lived in Atlanta with my buddy Will for a while.
Will Tucker?
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I said, we were together at Francis Marion, and I came back. Butler and I had always kept up over the years. Because, like I said, man, he was my coach and my teacher in 7th grade, my coach, teacher in 9th grade. So we always kept up with each other. We always stayed in contact with each other.
So tight.
What's that?
No, y'all so tight.
Yeah, man. We always. He was at my wedding. We were just always just close. And I'll never forget. I came back to visit him one day, and he said, "Man, I got a 6th grade social studies position open." I was like, "Man, I ain't never taught no school or nothing, man." I was living in Atlanta at the time, just working at Abercrombie down there,
living
college
life.
degree. I'm partying, having a great time in Atlanta. But he was like, I got a 6th grade social studies position open. I said, well, man, I ain't really never taught before. He said, man, you know how to talk in front of people. You smart. You can. He said, I'm gonna go show you to your classroom. I was like, all right, I'll go take a look at it. So I went and told my parents about it. My mom was like, my parents were like, oh, yeah, you taking that job? Yeah, you taking it. And so that's how it got started, man. I taught there with him for a few years at Washington Street. And then I moved on to Rockingham. It was Rockingham Junior High back then. And then we changed to Rockingham Middle and, started coaching there. And the rest is kind of history, man,
So you said in 2003, correct?
Yep.
Coach May gave you position of JV basketball coach.
JV boys head coach, yeah.
Gotcha. And were you excited? Was you nervous?
I was a lot. The thing about it is, man, it was one of those things to where you just graduated and you're 22, 23 years old from 22 years old, graduated from college, and and coaching. Then a lot of people think I'm a hothead now on the court. It was really bad then because I was young, but right now I've kind of evolved and gotten a little. I've calmed down a whole lot from what it used to be, from the way I used to be. But yeah, I was excited about it, man. I was kind of nervous as well, but I was extremely excited about the opportunity, man. I was very, very excited about it. And, I had Melvin Ingram was my point guard, and Melvin was in the 10th grade. Wow. He was a man amongst boys then, He was definitely a man amongst boys. And, I had him and DeMario Douglas. I had some great players back then, man. I had some really good players back then.
So how long did you stay on JV? From
I stayed there for 2 years.
2 years.
I stayed there for 2 years. So
2 years, okay.
So,
and after that, what's next?
After that, I went to Rockingham Middle. Well, yeah, Rockingham Middle, and started coaching from there. Okay. And I coached there where, like I said, I had some great players there, Drew Butler, who played for me. Josh Calhoun played for me. So many good players. I just ran to one of my little players last night, Jaleel Little, man. Little Jaleel, he's my little point guard. Kellen Hood, all those dudes play for. I had some great players coming through Rockingham. I really did, and it was a lot of fun coaching. Into
I'm going to skip ahead a little bit because it's getting a little timey. When you get offered the job to coach women basketball, tell me about that feeling and excitement or nervousness. Because
it was really nervous at the beginning, man. I knew that I wanted to coach at the high school level. And I was kind of nervous about the girls thing, and I'll never forget sitting down with Mr. Quick and Mr. Butler, and at the time, our athletic director Ricky Young, and they was like, "Well, you do know you're coaching girls now, so you got to kind of tone it down some."
Went down some.
I was like, "Yeah, I'll try." And my first practice coming in, man, it was just one of those things where it's like, man, what have I gotten myself into? But I tell you what, man, I've had some great players over the years, John. When I say I've had some good players over the years, man.
Name some.
And man, I'm gonna go all the way back. I mean, first of all, I've got Kiana Love, Alexis Sweeney, Aaliyah Sweeney, and I'm gonna save some of them. I mean, Jakira Covington, Bree Wall, Jayla McMahon. Let me tell you something, man. A lot of people think that Juicy's great. Juicy's a great player. I'm sure you want to speak about that. But, man, her sister, Jayla McDougal, was an absolute monster, man. Jayla was a dog. She was. I mean, and I still tell Juicy to this day, I said, if it's come to one-on-one, you and J-Mac, I said, I'm taking J-Mac all day long. All day long. I'm taking J-Mac all day long because you know why? You might be better than she is, but she's meaner than you are. And I'm going to tell you right now, she's not going to let you score. She'll fight you before you beat her one-on-one, So yeah, man, I've had some good players, man. Lane, and the thing about it is, man, I had one player, Lane Malsby, man. Lane Malsby was probably one of my best players that I've ever coached. Athletic. Lane Malsby. Her brother Gray plays basketball now, man. Okay. He plays football now. I'm sorry. Lane Malsby was man. She could run. She could shoot. She could do everything. And I tell people all the time, the biggest difference in coaching girls and coaching boys is boys think that they're better than they really are, but girls don't think that they're better.
They're good as they are.
Exactly. Girls don't think that they're as good as they really are. You have a lot of boys that can't play dead, but they think they're Jordan. You have girls that think that, they could be a female can go out and score 40 points. You're like, oh, coach, I just didn't do it. No, it's one of those things where, I tell them all the time, I've never had a coach to tell me to shoot the ball. I always had coach, man, stop shooting, stop, and that's the biggest thing with girls, man, is just trying to get them to realize you are much better than you think you are. You are much, much better than you think you are. So you got, and it's building that confidence. It's building that confidence and letting them know that, hey, you are better than what you think you are. But until you actually see it, I can tell you that all day long, but until you see it, you're going to keep getting the same results. So yeah. So
tell me about the evolution or the difference you've seen in girls basketball since you started. Like, tell me about, because it's so popular right now. What's changed that made women's basketball so hot right now?
I think that the travel circuit has kind of helped it some. Well, not kind of. I think it's helped a lot. I just like we talked about earlier, just the marketing of it, man. You look at what Caitlin Clark's done. I mean, she's done some amazing stuff, man. She really has. But I mean, there's been other players that do this that has done a lot of the same things that Caitlin Clark has done, but it just wasn't marketed the way it is right now, And not to take anything away from Caitlin Clark, man, because she has changed the game of basketball for women. She really has. She has changed the women's basketball. But I mean, you got to look at Dawn Staley, what Coach Staley's done at South Carolina. It's just evolved. I mean, it's changed a whole lot. And then now you get young ladies that like the little boys look up to Paul. And now you got the same little young females that look up to Juicy the same way. And they want to be. I remember being a kid growing up. Every kid wanted to be a Richmond Raider football player.
Every kid
did. That was their dream. Yes. And nothing's wrong with that. That's great. But now you've got kids that also want to be a Richmond Raider basketball player.
That's definitely true.
You got kids that want to be. Yeah. You got a lot of kids that want to be Richmond Raider basketball player. And now that's starting to evolve to the female part of it as well. You got a lot of young girls, young ladies that want to be Richmond Raider basketball players. And that's my biggest thing, is to want to grow this program. I was able to, have it handed over to one of the best basketball players ever come through Richmond Senior High School, Rosalind McClendon, who did a great job. She's Rosalind McDonald now, but back then she was Rosalind McClendon as a player, who played in a Final Four with NC State the last time they played in the Final Four in 1998. So yeah, so she is one of she's a legend in Richmond County basketball. There's tons of them, and she gave me the keys to the car, and so now I'm just like, don't wreck it. You know what I'm saying?
Don't wreck it.
just keep it in the road. Just started out trying to keep it in the road. So she gave me the keys to the car. So now the main thing was just trying to keep it in the road. So now we're able to get some new accessories. And I'm gonna tell you, man, I have the best staff. And
I want to ask you tell me about your staff, because let
me tell you something, man. The staff that I have right now, man, is the best staff in the state of North Carolina. I got Shannon Jackson, who's a great basketball coach, great basketball mind. And then I got Coach Covington from Anson County, who she's from here in Richmond County, but who's Juicy's grandma. I've been trying to get her on my staff for years. I said, if you ever decide that you don't want to coach at Anson anymore, you got to come right here come home. Yes. Come home. And she finally did. And I'm grateful for her, man. And, and then Tanya Breeden as well, one of my coaches. She's my JV coach. She's a great coach. And then, Tanika, she speaks for herself. Yeah. Tanika Reeder, you say Tanika Reeder, that name is known.
Basketball in Richmond County.
Yeah, and that name is known throughout the state, far as basketball with the Jammers and stuff like that, man. So none of this would be possible without me being coach of the year. Would not be possible without my staff, 100%, because we support each other, man. We have great times, man. We don't agree a lot of times. We don't.
You ain't supposed to.
We don't agree a lot of times, and that's the part about it. A lot of times we can agree to disagree, and they never. And I can always tell you, I can always know, they don't hold their tongue when they don't agree with something. They don't, and that's good. They do not hold their tongue, huh?
I said they women.
Yeah, well, but it's the truth. A woman, that she gonna let you know when shit ain't right, And hey. And if they don't agree with something, they let us know. But then we always, at the end of the day, man, we always know at the end of the day, as coaches, we're always trying to have the interest of the players, man. We had a great team this year, man. We did. We were able to put together a monumental run. And I couldn't be more proud of those young ladies. We were able to put together a monumental run.
You mentioned Juicy earlier. Speak to me about coaching star players. How was it coaching Juicy through her career?
Man, it's the thing about her is, man, she is like a coach on the floor. She really is. Her work ethic, man. She's one of those players that's in the gym constantly. She just played in a travel tournament this weekend. She's. You've seen her play. Mm-hmm. She's not only that, man, she's a great student as well, man. She's a great student. And then we were able to add Josiah Gilchrist to our roster this year. JoJo.
Yeah, that little girl is a dog.
Man,
JoJo, Jake, what do they call her?
JoJo, yeah.
JoJo, yeah.
I have the best backcourt in the state of North Carolina. Yeah, I don't care what anyone says. Between her and Juice, they clicked, and coaching Juicy, man, it's made my job a lot easier.
Make you look better. Yeah,
it's made my job a whole lot easier. It has. But even with coaching her, though, the thing about it is she makes her teammates so much better. She makes her teammates so much better. And I think one of the unsung heroes of our team is Rena Drake, man. Rena, JV's little sister. Rena Drake is kind of like the Swiss Army knife. Rena can do it all. Okay. She does it all. She rebounds, she plays defense, she's smart. She plays hard. And then, I'm excited about I'm excited about the players we have. I'm excited about the players what we got coming back. We got Madison Jackson, who made all conference as a freshman this year. Madison Jackson is going to be a talent,
I thought Madison was a cheerleader. She's a basketball player.
Man, Madison is she is something else. She's going to be, And, we have her returning next year. We got JoJo coming back. And of course, like I said, Juicy speaks for herself. I could talk to you for 2 hours about Juicy.
So Juicy is a junior this year?
Yeah, she's a junior.
Oh, shoot. I didn't know that.
So, yeah, and JoJo's just a sophomore.
Oh, yeah.
Madison was a freshman. Yeah,
right.
So
one thing I know back in the days, we always knew who the next players that was coming up to get to Richmond. Are there any kids that you see in middle school or even before middle school that's going to be dominant in the women's game one day?
Yeah, there's a young lady in Hamlet, man. Her name, they call her Turbo. Yeah, she's fast, man. She's real fast. She's gonna be a special talent as well. There's a few more young ladies that's coming up, man. But the thing about it is, like I said, we just got to start the main thing. We just got to start developing them at a young age, man. At a very, very young age. We got to start developing at that young age, because it was one of those things that yesterday I watched. We had a travel tournament, and they had a team out of Southern Pines to come down, and it was a middle school team, and those girls moved the ball so well. I mean, they just moved the ball. It was just like clockwork, and that's where we have to get to, is just that development part, just that development of the game of basketball at an early age.
Well, I see you involved with the what team do you coach for the Jammers?
I help Coach Scooter McDonald with the 5th grade team.
The girls, right?
No, the boys. I help with the 5th grade boys team. Yeah,
I know she has a girls team too, I think.
There's a girls team that's Coach Sino McDonald that he coaches as well. Okay, and then some of my girls, they whenever, and that's the thing about, like, with girls, man, a lot of girls here, they play other sports. They play volleyball, then they go from volleyball to basketball, then they go from basketball to softball, they go to basketball to soccer, or basketball to track. So they're always busy. So I'm like, man, you got to find some time to kind of try to craft, to work on your craft, And also, you got to be a teenager as well, man. You got to be a teenager and live your life as a 16, 17, 18-year-old person as well. So it's a lot to balance. So it definitely is.
So you spoke on it briefly just then, but reiterate how special this season was, especially since I know last season probably didn't go the way you exactly wanted it to. But like this year and having the year you guys had, just speak on that journey a little more, man.
Well, it was kind of like, we were up the year before, and then we kind of had some losses last year. Juicy didn't play last year. We lost Rena as well. We lost a couple other players. But then this year, man, I knew from the beginning that we were going to have a special team, man. I knew that from the beginning. And, we played a tough schedule. I mean, we played the Myers Parks. We played against the number one player in the country, not in the state. We played against the number one player in the country, just recently committed to UConn.
Sarah Strong.
Yeah, we played against them.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. And then, we had a tough week that week. We played Grace Christian on Monday, drove to Myers Park Tuesday. Then the next Friday, we turned around and played Panther Creek, who was the defending state champions. So, we played a tough schedule. But I knew that we had the team to compete with those, to compete against those teams like that. And it paid off. It did. It paid off tremendously. And I think by playing against those teams like that in the preseason, it prepared us for the postseason. And, I still think to this day, man, the Hoggard game that we played when they beat us, Hoggard played their best game of the season. And it's one of those things where they played their best game and we played probably one of our worst games. It just wasn't intentional. It was just, I thought we played well, but we just couldn't get shots to fall. It was their night, and it was one of those things. It was their night, and it wasn't ours. It wasn't that anybody didn't do or anybody did do. It was just their night, and it wasn't our night. And then I go look. I see them play the next week against Roseville, the team.
They had a bad night.
I'm like, man, where the hell was this team last week against us?
Get a whoop them.
They throwing the ball in the stands, and I think they scored 21 points the whole game, somewhere along there. Yeah, it was a low. They didn't score a lot of points, but not to discredit Hoggard, but they made it there for a reason, but not to discredit them at all. But we had a tremendous run, man. I couldn't be more proud of those young ladies, and I couldn't be more proud of our coaching staff, man. We're poised to do it again.
I'm definitely looking for you guys to have a great run next year.
Yes, I think
I,
that makes us hungry.
I would say the Raider fans are starting to really get behind basketball the way they should. It always feels good to be playing and have people in the stands watching you and encouraging you. But that all comes with winning also. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I want to say, man, great job doing what you're doing. We're blessed to have you in your position, your coaches and your players, and it was definitely good getting to hear your story. Anything you want to speak on before we go, as far as like maybe next season or basketball in general?
I just appreciate you having me on, man, and give me the opportunity to try to promote basketball for Richmond County. Not only basketball, just women's sports in general, man, because we got some good athletes out there. If you get a chance, come and check out the volleyball team, come and check out women's soccer, come and check out softball. Come and see them, man. Women's basketball, women's sports has evolved. It may not be as exciting as the men's sports, but I think that women's sports need their flowers as well. Not because they're ladies and they like flowers, just because they work just as hard as the men do. They do. They put in the same amount of hours, they put in the same work, all those things, and I think that they need to have their sports not just. They need to have their sports. People coming to support, and I appreciate the support that the community has given us this year. Continue to support us. We appreciate it, because you'd be amazed, man, how many people have called and reached out. Coach, what can we do? What can we do to to help your girls? What can we can we get drinks for you guys? Can we purchase lunch for you guys, or feed you guys before? Crestview Baptist Church was great for us, man. They fed us. Lauren Blue Parks, she was tremendous. There's tons of people that I can name, man. That even you reached out to us, you were got under the weather a little bit, but you said, "Hey, I'm gonna make it up to you," and I appreciate that. I definitely appreciate it, man. T-shirt, your business reached out to us, but you fell ill and stuff, and I understand that, and things happen, but. Like you said, man, I promise I got you. I'll make it up to y'all next year. I just appreciate the support of the community, man. I really do. I definitely do. And like I said, without the staff, I appreciate, our principal. Man, we have a superintendent that's a sports junkie, man. Yeah, we have a superintendent that is a sports junkie. And this guy's he's at every game. Every game.
And he's fair.
Yeah,
I won't say about him. He's a fair superintendent. He will listen to you, and he's the fair judgment. So
he's a sports junkie, man, and that always helps right there. It always, especially when you we're playing Hope County, and I look up, the very first person in the gym is our superintendent before when we're warming up. So that means a lot right there. So that tells me right there that we have support of the people. We have support of administration. We have support of the community, and we're just trying to, we always want to, and I know a lot of times, coach, you hard on the girls and this like that. That's the only way I know how to coach the game,
Correct.
It's just the only way. And at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. It's just that, we're trying to better to grow the program, because Coach Pettigrew and I always say, Richmond has been here before we got here. It'll be here after we're gone. So but the best thing is, the main thing we have always wanted to do, man. And, like I said, man, I can't speak enough about Bootsy, man. I can't. And the one thing that we've always, as a coach, what I've always wanted to do, if I'm not coaching Richmond Senior High School women's basketball as of tomorrow, I just want to know that I left it in a better position than I took it over. Not to say it was in a bad spot, but that I improved upon it.
Correct.
Yeah, I improved upon it. And we always try to promote a family atmosphere, and I just wanted to make sure that I left it in better shape than it was. So,
and hey, you've done that already, brother. And the future, the sky's the limit. Because like I said, when girls coming back next year, man, hey, I thought you was gone, But Juicy JoJo Jackson, hey, and the rest of
Sound
them.
like, hey, it sound like the damn Jackson Five.
Yeah.
JoJo Jackson,
Right.
Tito, Marlon, Randy, Latoya, all of them.
But listen, I know their names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not a huge girl basketball fan, but
Yeah.
now I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's amazing. But Thanksgiving having its own, man. It's Sunday. We got school in the morning. Maybe we're gonna get off this thing, man. Salute for having me on, for coming on here, man, and giving me your time
I
on this
appreciate
Sunday,
you having
man.
me.
I really
And I
enjoyed
want to,
it.
hey man, and one last thing, man, I want to thank you for what you're doing for the, the Raiders Elite program, man. Y'all have done you've done a great job with that right there, man. And,
Appreciate it, man.
Salute to that right there. Keep doing what you're doing as well, man. Even with your podcast, and especially with the Raiders Elite, giving these young guys something to look forward to, man.
I think we all got a position to make the kids successful. Like I said earlier, it's a community, man.
Yeah.
So it's a blessing, man. But I'm Hodger, man. Teddy Mosley, man, the current SAC Coach of the Year, man. Women's, man. Support the program next year, guys. Get behind these ladies. Support these ladies. Let's continue to build these female sports up. Because, I mean, in the day, women are everything.
Appreciate it, man.
All right, boss, man.
All right, have a good one. All right.
Yay. Great interview, man. Teddy Mosley, once again, man. Thanks for coming on, man. Ball guys, know it all. He's a ball guy. He know it all, too. All right. I want to give a brief commercial for myself. All right. Nothing wrong with that, is it? All right, let's see. Right now, we have a great special going on T-shirts, man. Summertime is coming. Family reunions, special events, sporting events, clubs, organizations. Look at these prices, y'all. 25 shirts, 50 shirts, 75, 100 shirts. That's $8 a shirt. Hold on. $8 a shirt for 100. If you got a business or a team or anything you want to promote, $8 a shirt for 100 of them? Family reunions. Get a website built. I can build you a free website. All right? I can do it all, baby. Also, 415 Grill should be open next week. I'm looking like Thursday. All right? But I'll come on here and tell y'all. All right? But great interview, man. What a blessing to be able to coach the next generation, man. Because coaching is cool. It's not all about sports and everything. It's about life also. Life lessons. Trust me. I know. All right? Ball guys, know it all. Until next time, let's go Raiders. All right, y'all. Have a great evening.